Spring practice, full effect. We got a couple names that are popping right now for Georgia.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So excited to have you back. He is Clint. I am Daniel. Excited to have you back for another week of shows here on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. As Clint mentioned, spring practice is well underway. Today's episode brought to you by our friends over at Mazda. Move and be moved. More on Mazda in a moment. As Clint mentioned, names are beginning to pop at Georgia spring practice. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go through a couple of different names that are beginning to receive a lot of buzz around the Georgia football program. Clint and I are going to give you our honest takes about how excited we are about these particular prospects, how much buzz they are generating in our minds, how interesting they are as potential contributors for the Georgia Bulldogs this season. And so let's jump in. Clint, first name on the list. I'll let you lead off here. First name coming out of spring practice, not necessarily a shocking name, a guy that many people expect to be, if not the top of his position, among the top performers in his position. First name coming out of spring practice, Talon Taylor.
Daniel, Talon Taylor is popping so far with a lot of reporters, a lot of insiders. Again, there's no such thing as an insider because Kirby's not going to give you anything that's actually valid. You're going to have to go and dig and talk and research. And at the end of the day, you're going to come back with this fact. Spring ball is about getting absolute after it in the trenches, getting guys shown out and embarrassing you. This is what Kirby does so very well. We're going to get to maybe a couple names later on in which one transfer defensive lineman that is Daniel's guy got absolutely manhandled, it seems like. We're going to talk about what that looks like. But Talon Taylor is said to be the
Don't
name.
talk about my guy that way, by the way.
I'm sorry.
Don't talk about. That's not the way that our guys draft works. It's not we don't roast each other for when our guys make bad plays.
I understand. Okay. Yeah. A little clarity there. Talon Taylor. Now, here's what's unfortunate about his name being linked so far in spring, showing out and doing well. It's a shame because, one, likely a lot of this is not full gear go practice yet. You ramp up into it. You get guys acclimated, and then later on, you then start popping pads. 1v1 are happening, but the full throttled aspect of it is not the case. We heard earlier on in the spring in which the wide receivers are being challenged by Kirby not to go up and grab the ball, but rather to get possession of the ball in such a way to keep on running, get yards after the catch. Daniel and I have talked about on the show that we think that is where a lot of our offensive production for wide receivers is going to be, is actually running with the football, because that's our skill set more and more. Isaiah Canyon, the outlier on that clearly. But Talon Taylor going up against a pretty dang defensive back group, although it might be just pointed out, after the top two corners, gets a little riskier down on the depth chart.
Stay tuned for the third segment, Clint. I got a name that I'm going to fire off at you on the third segment, so we'll come back to that.
So does it excite me to know that Georgia has a wide receiver that's being talked about? Yeah, it does, because we've seen buzz before at wide receiver, and it's actually played out. Last year, we heard Colby Young's name mentioned, that he's doing very well. He's doing everything needed. We heard George Pickens before. You remember that grainy footage that looked like it was out of some witch film back in the 90s, documentary style. That was just all of a sudden him going up, one-handing a ball on the sideline and coming down with it. We've heard buzz, so to hear his name within that same breath is good. However, Georgia fans, let me caution you. Two things are.
Why would you do that?
Well, because I want Georgia fans to have a good experience. Daniel, that's
it.
Two things are true. Coming into spring ball, the offense is going to be ahead of the defense at this time every single year. Kirby Smart and company have a pretty complex defense, a lot of calls, a lot of changes. The offense is already going to be on. Talon Taylor's been in there. Gunnar Stockton, a lot of transition has happened around him at skill positions, but he's still there. Offensive line is still there. There's a lot of continuity, and he has a lot of experience. So him and the rapport he has with wide receivers, actually, I have good standing with. I have a good idea that that's going to continue going into the season. It has been there. The defensive back group is always lags a little bit behind the offense at this point for Georgia. That is a historic thing that we've heard time and time again. And they're not full go contact. DBs are still learning back in their skill. The offense is coming and attacking them. So I just want to caution you. Be excited about this because it could mean that he's on the same trajectory of others. But also at the same time, let this kid, and he is a kid comparative experience-wise, work himself into the system. Now, every Georgia fan is screaming at me, nope, that's not how college football works. I need you to explode on the scene. I need a playmaker. I need a difference maker. I need a yard after catch. We don't have time to wait. Yeah, you do.
You do.
You do.
What if you just did instead?
You can.
Yeah.
Because our offensive line and running backs are going to carry this team for a while. If I'm hearing early buzz about Talon Taylor, it means this is the alternative. A guy like London Humphreys, who Daniel said last week is going to be the most important for us during season, and I agree with him. Continuity is key on that. It means that the guy we listed as probably most important might already be passed up by Talon Taylor.
Whoops.
That's not a great look for our wide receiver room, if that's the case. That means Isaiah Canyon, London Humphreys, Sokovie White aren't being looked at and repped at in the same level. Great, Talon Taylor's ahead, but if he's our number one, if Talon Taylor is our best today wide receiver, I don't know if I feel great about that. I think I do. I think I do feel
good
about that.
Yeah, because, and here's why, Clint. I think, what do we know that we have with this wide receiver group? I think what we know that we have is a floor, right? Like we know that even looking at production from a guy from Georgia Tech, you look at London Humphreys, you know that you have a floor there. I think the thing that Talon Taylor brings is the upside. We're not planning on yet. And then think about what a security blanket the tight end room is for this wide receiver room anyway. We're not even counting on the wide receivers to be extremely efficient producers in the pass catching game because we have such competent and talented tight ends. You know, maybe as many as 3 of them that are like star caliber players that are going to contribute significantly. And so what you're looking for, I think, if you're Georgia, I think best case scenario, if you're Georgia, is you get a handful of guys that are very competent, very serviceable. And you get one guy that rises like a meteor and just shoots to the moon and has a really high ceiling and makes a big jump. I ask you, Clint, of all the wide receivers in this room, who's the guy most likely to do that? Who's the guy who's got the most capability of making that meteoric rise? Who's the guy that, based on all that we know about him, would give you the impression that that is an option? It's Talon Taylor. And so if he's popping off, you know, I think that could mean something potentially pretty good for Georgia in the sense that, well, maybe there is a really high ceiling guy in this Georgia wide receiver room. And that could be really good news for the Bulldogs. And so I don't hate it.
It could be. You're absolutely right. We're going to go back to this. I'm going to give Daniel a name on the defensive line that may make him rethink his my guy pick of Amarius Williams, because this guy apparently is showing out during spring ball. But first, these. And these are, in fact, Mazda. This is moving the game forward by Mazda. For those who know that the score never tells the whole story, Georgia has a couple guys that are showing out in spring ball. They're moving the game forward like, in fact, a Nate Frazier, like a Gunnar Stockton, because they are people who know details and care every single thing about the particulars. They know it's the early morning, it's the late night runs, constantly showing up for the squad. That's what they're doing. The all-new Mazda CX-5 moves the same way, with more space to connect, a bold new design, and more intuitive technology, so you can stay connected on the road at every position you play. The all-new Mazda CX-5, move every side of you. But that's not all, Daniel. We also have our fine friends over at 5 Hour Energy. Now, we did a little tournament style going down the flavors, had some really good ones to choose from.
Yeah.
They were quite incredible, as a matter of fact. But 5 Hour Energy, all those 18 flavors to choose from, new options, confetti craze, fruity rainbow, cotton candy, something for everybody. We got down to a last couple of them. And I think at the end of the day, Daniel, I'm still convinced that the pomegranate is one I'm going to go with 5 Hour Energy. Pomegranate is going to be my number one all the way through. It's deep, slightly tart, richer, darker, fruitier profile, smooth and lingering aftertaste that I want in something that's going to give me energy all the way through. It has a lot of upcoming flavors planned as well. I'd love to see something along the side of, like, if you give me a donut one, give me a little glazed donut 5 Hour Energy, something like that in the morning to go with that coffee. I'm fine with that. Find your new favorite flavor of 5 Hour Energy shots, available online, 5hourenergy.com or Amazon. All right. We also heard news out of spring practice that Valdon Schoen, Daniel, is actually big old Haas. We have a unique profile on him coming out of high school, but Valdon is making a name for himself within this Bulldog defensive room. Big Haas on the defensive line. Are you excited seeing his name being one of the names that is actually producing a lot of havoc within the defensive line?
Now you're telling me that the number. Well, hold on. Let me see if I have this right.
Okay, go ahead.
The number one defensive tackle in the country has committed to Georgia.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And he's stepped onto campus and he's begun making an immediate impact. Where have I feel like this movie is it a repeat? Is it a remake of a movie that I've seen recently?
It's like the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Yeah.
You know,
the Vin Diesel of position groups.
But the difference is these are actually good. We keep talking about, but these are actually good players.
We lost about 9 listeners that are diehard Fast and Furious fans for just then. They're just turned the pod off. They're like, nah, can't do it. Valdon Schoen, now he's not a carbon copy of Elijah Griffith. That would be ridiculous and unfair. But this is the number one defensive tackle in America, Clint. Like, this is a 5-star kid by every major service. Played some high school ball in Virginia. Kid from Sweden. By the way, South Carolina is going out and recruiting rugby players from Ireland. There's never been a person who was more Shane Beamer than Shane Beamer himself. Like, he perfectly encapsulates.
He made a caricature of himself and then superseded that character of himself he made.
It was just a photograph. It wasn't a caricature. It was just a photograph of him because he himself is that thing. No, Valdon Schoen, it doesn't surprise me at all. I think when you look at this defensive line, we've said it before, but the more you investigate, Clint, and now if Valdon Schoen is making some noise, and it seems as though he is, Clint, we're starting to get into some territory where, okay, Elijah Griffin, we know. Joseph Jonah-Ajonye, Big Joe, we know exactly what we're getting out of Big Joe. Do we not?
Yep. Oh, I know.
Nnamdi Ogboko, we saw last year, kind of bursting onto the scene and playing some meaningful snaps. Josh Horton, similar type of deal. And now you start sprinkling it. We know Jordan Hall, by the way, coming back from injury, didn't even mention him yet. And now all of a sudden you start sprinkling some names like Isaiah Gibson, Clint, as he starts to emerge on the edge. How about Nazir Johnson? Nazir Johnson, a 2024 recruit, another high 4-star kid who, by the way, according to the Georgia website, tipping the scales at 340 last year.
It's large.
6'4", 340. So Georgia's got some dudes, and I haven't even gotten into the Xavier McLeod's, sort of on purpose. I want to use Xavier McLeod as a this is going to sound incredibly disrespectful, but hopefully his parents don't listen to the podcast. If they do, McLeod family, I apologize. I don't mean it the way it's going to sound.
I'm the better host. We all know this. Continue.
But Xavier McLeod is kind of this baseline, pretty good standard of defensive linemen.
That's right.
And if you're Georgia, what you want is Xavier McLeod to have zero playing time. You want there to be no snaps available for him because there are too many guys that are better than him that just demand getting. I think Nazir Johnson's got a chance to be one of those guys. I think Valdon Sohn's got a chance to be one of those guys as well. When you look at these big, intimidating, massive guys on the interior, obviously we know what we're getting out of Elijah Griffin, but the more you can move Elijah Griffin around, then if you have a healthy Jordan Hall and you have another year under Nnamdi Ogboko's belt, I feel like there's going to be a massive improvement there. You got guys like JJ Haney that I think have a chance to continue to develop and be really good. So you look at that interior of the defensive line, Clint, and golly, there's a lot of really good, like we might be eight deep across the front. The front four might be a legitimate 8 deep. And you tell me that, and one of them's name's Elijah Griffin? Okay.
Here's what excites me about it. I'm just going to give you some more stats about this kid. Reclassified to a year earlier to get to college than he was. Okay? So a young man, first of all.
He ready.
Secondly, I know he ready. Secondly, football is the fourth sport that he's picked up along the way.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. If you think about what he's doing, and he's gaining momentum quickly. Lastly, you just listed all the players that are likely having good springs, but his name was the one that came out of those.
Now, true freshman 5-star is always going to get a little buzz. He's always going to get a little buzz. To be fair, it's not sexy to write an article about how Xavier McLeod's having a good spring. Like that's not going to generate any clicks. True freshman 5-star is going to get some buzz. But again, as deep as this room is, if he's a player, I'm not even saying he might not be one of the 7 best defensive linemen we have.
Maybe not.
But if he's a player, what I'm telling you is this room is exceedingly deep. And fresh bodies just coming in like hockey lines, Clint. And you got an offensive guard who's played 80 snaps and it's the fourth quarter and it's third and 7.
Here we go.
And all of a sudden, a fresh as a daisy Elijah Griffith comes running down onto the field and lines up in front of him, Clint. These are good things for the University of Georgia, I'm trying to say. So Valdon Sohn, yes, I am excited about him.
You should be excited about that name coming through. Again, when he did his most work, it was when he went to camps in which he was against the top tier offensive line recruits in the nation. He showed out in those times. He's showing out against Georgia, who has a notable offensive line strength. We've talked about it. If we're going to maybe talk about a couple names of defensive back room, but talking about guys going against Juan Gaston, Dontrell Glover, Bobo, these sort of experienced guys.
Yeah, Bobo's not in there in the spring.
I know he's not injured. I know. I'm talking about experience. This is really, really important. And again, stop me if you've heard the last time Georgia had 8 deep defensive linemen that we rolled out like hockey lines, kept them fresh to get to the quarterback and collapse a pocket. This is where Georgia's best. Our best teams are exactly the identity that we're hearing so far. Daniel.
Yep.
And that's
we mentioned the defensive backs earlier last segment. We know who we've got in the top 2. I'm going to give Clint the name of notable transfer and presumably third corner on this team, and I'm going to see how he's feeling about him. I've already kind of tipped my hand a little bit on an earlier episode, but I haven't gotten Clint's thoughts. But first, these.
And these are, in fact, Robinhood. What if sports were traded like markets? And you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house, it's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action, so when momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator, play-by-play. You decide. Trade every play with Robinhood, now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everybody. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. But that's not all. We also have our fine friends over at Supply House. Daniel, Supply House, you wouldn't show up on game day without a plan. You wouldn't show up on a job without the right parts. Guess what? Supply House is here for that. 300,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products. 90% of the country is in the 1 to 2 day delivery zone. That is fantastic. Need last minute coupling, compressor, press tool. They're clutch at getting it to you. Pros get exclusive member-only pricing, priority shipping, industry-leading customer service, and it's all absolutely free. Visit supplyhouse.com/trademaster to learn more about becoming a trade master. Use promo code S-H5college for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com/trademaster, promo code S-H5college. Supply House, real people, real service.
So, Clint, well documented. I talked about this on an episode that you were away for, but I always meant to circle back around to it. And now here we are talking about players whose names are being referenced coming out of, getting some buzz at spring practice. And lo and behold, this name comes up. So it gives me a perfect opportunity to ask you. We know what Georgia has at corners 1 and 2, right? Ellis Robinson and DeMello Jones have solidified themselves as not just serviceable corners, but legitimately very talented, both very physical guys, both guys that are very comfortable, mixing it up, hand fighting, being physical with a wide receiver, as well as dropping back into coverage, using their speed and quickness, high pointing footballs, etc. I think we feel collectively between the two of us, I think we feel very good about Georgia's starting 2 corners. I think Georgia's starting secondary altogether, I think we feel very good about. Probably a transfer name or 2, maybe, in there. But I think we feel pretty good about the starting secondary as a whole. But when you look at third corner, the guy who was in line to be the third corner this year, got some run last year, he maybe not super unexpectedly, but maybe a little unexpectedly transfers out of the program.
Yeah.
And so now you're looking at this cornerback room and you're like, well, who is Georgia going to plug in there? The solution, once they go to the transfer portal, we tend to know when Kirby Smart goes for the transfer portal, he doesn't typically just take bodies.
No, he don't.
Typically takes guys, especially on the defensive side, that he expects to be contributors. Now, that doesn't always play out. Elo Mendoza was not a contributor. He did contribute, but he was not a massive contributor on last year's defense.
No, was not.
But Gentry Williams comes over from Alabama, or from Oklahoma. I'll just be honest with you, Clint. He wasn't particularly good at Oklahoma. I wasn't particularly impressed with him at Oklahoma. He's a highly rated kid coming out of high school. But to me, what I said was, I still feel a lot of nervousness about the corner position with him being the third guy. You know that we need 3 corners. You know there's going to be injuries. You know there's going to be rotations. You know we need 3 corners. You know it. If he's the third guy, Clint, how do you feel about this cornerback room? He's generating some buzz coming out, getting into the spring. Is that enough for you to give you a little peace of mind?
I'm going to break it down like this. Here's who I need him to be at bare minimum.
Okay.
The minimum floor is early season Ellis Robinson. Now, that's not a high bar to get over, Daniel.
It's not. To be fair, Ellis Robinson is the guy that you have just described many times as the guy that will become the best corner to ever play at Georgia, a school where Champ Bailey attended college.
I
can't stop him, friends. I can't do anything about him.
I know the history.
He's
I know
off
the
the
names,
rails.
And when I have the feels, they come roaring out. I don't know what else to say.
Yep.
I think he's going to put on a season this year that's going to be just one for the ages. I think he's going to pick people apart.
But you're not talking about that Ellis Robinson.
I'm not talking about that Ellis Robinson. I'm talking about early season Ellis Robinson last year. That was a liability.
He was
PI and a lot of issues down the field. Was not great. That's my floor I need Gentry to have. Okay. I think he's already there, Daniel. I think he's well beyond that, truth be told. And so that's my first thing. The second thing that I need in the third corner that's going to have rotational depth is something that I already know in Kirby Smart's system and defense he demands, and I've seen him do well on. That's physicality coming up in the run game and getting off blocks. He does that extremely well.
Yeah.
Third, his biggest knock on him is that he can't stay healthy. That's his biggest knock on him. Torn ACL in high school, a number of notable injuries while at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
If healthy.
And a lot of the poor performance, I am more than willing to say, was in all likelihood attributed to some of these lingering injuries. And I mean, let's be honest, if you've got leg injuries and you're trying to play corner in the SEC, well, there's some pretty dang good wide receivers out there in the SEC. All of them can run fast. So it's going to be tough.
So I tried to say all the reasons why. Shame on you for doubting.
And
at the end of the day, I don't believe in injury bug as a thing other than just happenstance. But this is an injury bug. This is recovering off notable lower leg issues. It's a lot like Jordan Hall. We saw a lot of good early, and then unfortunately the lower leg issues from him came roaring back, took his season last year. Now we hope that he's healthy this year, but am I going to be worried every time he's in there?
Yeah, I wouldn't wish Jordan Hall's trajectory on anybody. Just a tragedy,
it's a tragedy. It's absolute. Well, Gentry and him are in the same bus,
right?
And that sucks because it's all talent. They are smart, they are savvy, they are fearless, they are physical, they have the talent in the world, and their bodies just for whatever reason are not keeping up health-wise with them right now. So do I doubt that if Gentry is the guy so far in a not so physical spring, there are parts of spring that are physical. This is Georgia after all. But it's not the wear and the tear. It's not the grind yet. We're still weeks away from we are about to get in. The next 2 weeks is going to tell me something. If I hear Gentry's name and did he participate? No, he's doing some things on the sideline. All of a sudden,
then I'll be sick. I'll be
bucket worthy, 3 bucket level worthy, horrible situation.
But you're saying if he's in, if he's healthy, you feel good about 3 corners.
I feel great
good. You feel like Georgia's got 3 corners you like.
Because the floor is, again, early season Ellis Robinson. That's what the bar is. And
I need the floor to be a lot higher than that.
Well, I
need the floor to be. I need to be 2 stops above that on the elevator. Like that's not
just. I need to get through a spring with 0 nicks on him whatsoever. I mean,
there's
0.
Just not a lot of guys back there behind him. Like
that's what I mean. He can't have any.
We're going to be going to some crazy unproven guys, like including some true freshmen. And I'm not talking about 5-star true freshmen either. I'm talking about some guys that are going to have to be diamonds in the rough.
Late in the recruiting cycle additions to fill roster spots, guys. And that's happening at Georgia. Kirby finds good guys, but that's happened the last couple of years on defensive back. Maybe some safeties, maybe some moving some pieces around that we've seen before when we've had this. But if he's healthy, I feel good. If there's any news of him coming out of spring, it's bucket worthy, huge risk going into the season.
Yeah. And again, just to walk you through, Dinkins is going to play star.
Yep.
Ellis Robinson and DeMello Jones are your 2 starting corners. Zion Branch is a safety. KJ Bolden is a safety. Your other corners on this roster right now, other than Gentry Williams and like true freshmen, like Justice Fitzpatrick, or Caden Harris, both of whom are good players, but true freshmen. Your other corners on this roster are guys like Jonte Gilbert, who was a true freshman last year, who, has zero experience, zero playing time whatsoever. But again, there's a scenario where Jonte Gilbert is getting huge run this year for Georgia.
Yep.
And it's not that we know he's bad. It's that we don't know anything about how good he is.
Zero data points to suggest anything.
We know he's a decent special teams player. He got some reps there last year.
Sure.
We know nothing about his ability to play corner in college, in the SEC.
Cool. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
He
is Daniel. I am Clint. This is Locked On Bulldogs. We're back tomorrow talking about them Bulldogs all spring long, heading into the summer, and then in the fall. We'll see you guys then.
See ya.